In addition to the review of the United Distillers RMS 1978 Caol Ila, I'd like to take a minute to read a little bit about the history of the distillery. Caol Ila lies partially hidden in a cove just up the coast from Portaskeg, opposite the island of Jura. It was built in 1846 by a Glasgow distiller called Hector Henderson, and was producing enough whiskey by the 1880s for David McBrain's steamboats to call twice a week at the distillery's own pier. Grain would be delivered and the full casks taken away to be blended up or sold on by its owners, Bullock Lade and Company of Glasgow. The firm was once a serious competitor to the Distillers Company, DCL, but in 1920 it went into voluntary liquidation and was gobbled up by DCL a few years later. In the 1970s, Caol Ila was completely rebuilt and expanded to carry on its sole purpose in life, that of supplying a moderately peated Islay malt to big-selling blends like Johnnie Walker. The refurbishment left Caol Ila by far the biggest distillery on Islay and responsible for over a quarter of the island's malt production. And while it did no favors to the distillery aesthetically, it did leave those working in the still room with one of the best views in the industry. Through the giant plate glass windows can be seen the shimmering waters of the Sound of Islay, the occasional playful seal, and the paps of Jura beyond. Caol Ila has slowly emerged from the blended shadows with its own single malt. Other than an occasional release under the old Flora and Fauna range and the odd independent bottling, there was no regular expression until the 12-year-old was released in 2002. 3 years on, it became part of the expanded Classic Malts series. Over the years, the distillery has played around with non-peated malts, starting with Caol Ila Highland in the 1980s, which was used purely for blending. That is all, and I'll see you next time.